socks are off. Flying through the hallway like a disco moth. Pitching to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoop's grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoop's got rhythm, my sticks got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remotes a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 75. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. Move it low, move it low. We fly that flow, move it low. Grab that gap, no time to nap, no time to nap. Hit that roll, funk and control, funk and control. Bounce that wall, bounce that all. We fly it all, funk it all. We fly it all. Tiny whoop love, funky and free. We fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoop's got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all.
Greetings, cretins! My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. There we go. Welcome to Monday Night farting into a bottle and selling it on eBay. What does that mean? We are going to take a look at the secret HQ props tonight that none of the US resellers actually sell. I can't believe how many there are. HQ has a whole bunch of 2-inch and 2.5-inch props on their website. Like new generation, new prop design, possibly the best 2 and 2.5-inch propellers that are available on their website that not a single US site sells. And you know, as those of us in the U.S. know, we are the center of the fucking universe, and, you know, everywhere other than the United States exists only to serve us. Oh, wait, I'm hearing I'm being told from my producer that that's not true. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, we're the assholes. Yeah, that's not surprising. And so, yeah, we're going to take a look at these. We're going to weigh them, and I'm going to add the weights to the massive FPV weights spreadsheet that you beautiful patrons that support me on this insane FPV journey have access to. And then I'll probably post another link in the Patreon to that spreadsheet after the live stream tonight, just to make it easier for you to find it. You can always just go to the Patreon and in the tag section, search for weights or tech talk. It's in both of those. But yeah, if you don't know how to do that, or if you're having trouble doing that, I'd like to make it a little bit easier on you. I forgot to launch lunch. I forgot to launch. I forgot that my computer tortures me for doing things at the last second. Stop it. I don't have the chat up at all. Hey, look at this. Look at this handsome fella. And my dad is here too. My dad got a goddamn tattoo of my logo. Is that not the coolest thing ever? He just got it, so it's still got the protective tape over it. But coolest dad ever. Look at this handsome guy. See what I did there? I was zooming in towards myself, but then at the last second, I made it go towards my dad. Okay. So, what's happening, Chad? Social Stream refuses to work. That's weird. It's been working. Social Stream is what Social Stream, not Social Stream. Now that I've spit the marbles out of my mouth, is what I use to run the chat, because YouTube can't get their goddamn shit together and prevent the memory leak from leaking memory. I assume that's what a memory leak does. It could make breakfast for all I know. I'm not a computer person. I just work here. And so yeah, I have to use Social Stream to look at the chat. But it has shit its pants apparently. Why have you done this to me? I need it. Does just clicking the icon over and over again, you think that's the thing to do to get it to work? I don't know if you're answering me, because I'll click it a few more times. I'll click it harder. Nope, still nothing. Let me try force quitting it again. Just riveting beginning to this live stream. Some people have questions. Wish I could see them. This is a Q&A live stream. Ask any questions that you've got, and we will work through them. And no question will go unanswered. You have my word. Most of the time, no questions go unanswered. You might not like the answer, but it'll be an answer. So yeah, look at all these HQ props, man. HQ RT 2.5 by 2.1, T3 by 1.6, T 3.5 by 3.5 by 3. There's a GemFan 2023. I think I might have already had these. Maybe not. No, I did not. HQ TR 2.5 by 2.5. HQ T 2 by 2 by 3. T 2.5 by 1.9. Didn't I already have these? 2.5. 2.5 by 1.9? No, 2.5 by 2.1. And T2 by 2.2. These are all propellers that, yeah, HQ has them on their website. I managed to get them because I had to do a TBS order. Because they're the only ones in the effing world that ship to the US for cheap that had this goddamn Axis 1504 4600 1405 4600 kV cinematic motor in stock. This is the motor that I need for this guy. So I can fix this now, and I'll have two working 03/04 live broadcast builds, and then I'll finish up the AOS Cine 3.5, and I'll have the full fleet. This is going to be the one that I use to like test RF, and this is like super backup. But arguably it's the most important one because it's going to be testing RF. It's got the of these three builds, it's got the worst ELRS antenna setup, just having the one antenna on the side here and the one in the back. It's okay. It's not great though. The other two are going to have a much better ELRS antenna setup. That's perfect because this one with the worst antenna setup is what I'll use to test the site and figure out where I fail safe before the event. And it won't be running as well. And then so when I'm flying the real ones, I'll get significantly better range. Holy hell, Social Stream just needed a couple of minutes to, I don't know, poop its pants apparently. And now it's working. Incredible. Jamie Flies FPV says stop clicking. No, it makes it clicking over and over again definitely works, doesn't it? I read it on Reddit, and so it must be true. I didn't read that on Reddit. It just feels good. It feels good to click the button over and over again. And so, you know, even if it doesn't help, it'll make me feel better. And that's worth something, isn't it? No? It's not. Shit. Foiled again. All right, so here we go. In the chat, Bryce Crispy was first. Mr. Clean, You Can FPV, Nathan Wells, Levster, Frank Dr. Nicholas B. Bird, It's Bryce Crispy again, Seared, Denzel the Terrible Fizz, Uriel, KY Flyer, Denzel the Terrible Capital C, Uriel Skull, Hey Ryan, Spaceman Spiff, Jimmy Flies FPV, Capital C, Red, Levster, Dagul, Uplift, Denzel, Uplift, Uriel. I can't work through them. I got most of you. Thanks for coming. I'm exhausted. My God, I got shit sleep again last night. I am very tired. So buckle up, buttercups. It's gonna be a real shit sandwich, and you've all got to take a bite. That's gonna be on the Season 3 sound pack for sure. For those of you that don't know, there are 2 sound packs available over on the Patreon page. If you join the Patreon, it's only $3 a month. That is 20 cents per live stream. You cannot tell me that I have not told you at some point what not to buy. And when I did that, it saved you upwards of $40, $50 sometimes. So hook a brother up. Help me tell more people what not to buy and what to buy so that we can all fly better shit. We can have more fun and have the coolest community
in the world.
There it is. I got it good on that one. I usually fuck it up in some way or another because I'm the worst live streamer
in the world.
Thank you, Jeremy. Uriel says, forgot yesterday. No worries. Tomorrow will be okay. Enjoy the moment. Sounds good, dude. Denzilla says, I see you grooving to the music up there. I absolutely love it. FizzPV made the intro and outro songs, and they just tickle my pickle every time. Some things, like, I really try hard to say with a straight face, but you just can't. You just can't. There's just stuff that is just too silly. And by stuff, I mean most things that come into my demented brain. Jamie Flies FPV says, oh, hi, friends in CiottiFPV. Capital C says, what are your camera settings for your indoor drift events? I don't know them offhand, but I can pretty much just tell you because it's pretty dark in there. It's going to be... I bounce back and forth between 50 frames a second and 100 frames a second. Why not 60 and 120? Because there's extra latency. 60 frames a second has more latency than 50. 120 has more latency than 100. It has something to do with the refresh rate on the screens or some shit. I don't know. It's smart people have tested it, and then like 50 and 100 frames per second, it's fine in the edit. You can run it at full speed and it's okay, or you can slow it down. You could take 100 frames a second and go to 30 frames or 30% speed or 60% speed. And it looks great. And then for the shutter speed, it's going to match with the frame rate. So when I run 30 frames a second, I'll run either 1/30th of a second or 1/60th of a second. 1/30th of a second is a lot of motion blur. And so if I want that, if I want a little bit more motion blur, I'll do 1/30th of a second. If I want a little bit less, I'll do 1/60th. And then if I'm in 100 frames a second, it's always 1/100th of a second because there's not much motion blur there, and I want as much as possible. Those settings are also letting in as much light as possible with those shutter speeds. And so then what you can do is just put the ISO on auto, or you can lock the ISO in. It kind of depends. The place that I'm flying at now, certain times of day, the sun will be hitting the front windows really hard, and it'll be really bright up front, and then the fluorescent lights will be lighting the back half of the track. And so in that scenario, I'll put the ISO on auto. If you're flying somewhere that's flat light, it's like the same amount of light everywhere that you're going to be flying. You can lock the ISO down so that it's not moving up and down, brightening and darkening. But yeah, that's about it. Wide, and then I don't know if there are any other settings. Those are the settings that matter. Those are the only settings that matter. Danzilla says, now you have to get a Papa Smurfati tattoo. Nyafu says, my SL25 Kaio Mini clone thingy arrived today. I love that he called it a thingy. Seems like a lot of the Kaio Mini parts work for it, lol. Oh, wow, they properly cloned it then. I do prefer the longer back version because I can mount longer batteries and a buzzer. Man, that kind of sucks that they, like, all the way cloned it. It always feels better when they, like... So, the original Impulse RC frame was called the Alien, and, it got cloned and called the Martian, but when they cloned it, they didn't really clone it. I mean, they did, but they made improvements to it. And so, like, the Martian frame was actually better than the Alien frame. And, yeah, it always feels a lot better when that happens, right? Like, it sucks when they... Although, it sounds like they made a longer butt version, and so that makes me feel better. But yeah, I don't know. The whole copying other people's shit thing is rough. YouTube did the thing, says morning from UK, CiottiFPV and gang. Denzel the Terrible says, since I left Mac for PC, my computer has gotten faster and my life easier. Was a Mac user for 20 years. The Switch wasn't even a hassle. Think about it. Oh man, I'm too deep. And it's the whole family. And I mean, yeah, no, I'm too deep. That's what she said. Uriel says, give it to us, loose yourself. I wonder what that was in reference to. Let's check these props out, yo. Let's start weighing these effing props to compare them to some of the other ones. Let me get the thing that I'm looking for in front of me here. There it is. FPV weights is the spreadsheet. And so on this spreadsheet, I'm gonna have to grab the 2.5 inch section. Oh wow, I have not weighed many 2.5-inch props. Good God, I've got over 110 different propellers that I've weighed on here. That's pretty fucking good. So we're gonna highlight this whole schlip schlap, and we're gonna copy it like that, and then we're gonna paste it like that. And now I got a little bit of space here, and then we're gonna grab this and highlight down to there. Copy that, paste that. And then the 3-inch prop section, I got to space that out as well. 76 millimeters is 3-inch, and then it's 90 that's 3.5. I got it. See, I didn't even need your help. All right, and then the 3-inch prop section is going to go to, to there. Got it. Okay, cool. So 2-inch propellers. I'm just going to read off a bunch of the weights so that we get like a little bit of a feel for them. So 2-inch propellers, 0.725, 0.575, 0.3, 0.275, 0.6. Good Lord, that's a heavy 2-inch prop. 0.625, another heavy one. 0.8, another 0.8. 1.16, that's the Emax Blur. 0.888, 0.829, 0.45, 0.45, 0.325, 0.75, 1.0, that's a Gemfan ducted prop, a Cinewoop prop. 0.9, that's another Cinewoop 4-bladed prop. So there's your range for 2-inch prop weights. As light as 0.275, which is an HQ 2 by 0.9 by 2. This is a very thin biblade for very lightweight setups, all the way up to some of the really beefy 2-inch props. Some of the beefiest 2-inch props are these Emax Avan Blurs. They're super strong, and they're 1.163 grams. So just to kind of get you in the ballpark, those are the typical weights of 2-inch props. My current favorite 2-inch propellers are these old school Gemfan 2023s, 2023. And these are 0.863 grams. Certainly not one of the lightest, but they're very pitchy. They're set up for T-mount, and they're very strong. They're not super pitchy. 23 is not super pitchy, but it's certainly way more pitchy than like 0.9 or 1.5, some of these really lightweight ones, right? And so these 2023s are my favorite at the moment. I've flown most, if not all, of these propellers. These are the same thing. These are the Gemfan 2023s in Smoke Crotch Gray. That's right. I'm not running out of the Smoke Crotch Gray, but since they're my favorite of the propellers, I wanted to snag some more of them. One of the things that I wanted to do, though, is weigh these propellers compared to these. This bag of propellers right here, I got minimum 6 years ago. I might have bought these 7 or 8 or even 9 years ago. And so I wanted to just really quickly weigh these, because these older ones, they've got like a little bit of a texture to them almost. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I just wanted to do this as sort of like a sanity check. So I'm going to weigh 8 of the old gray ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I weigh 8 or more props at a time because the props are very lightweight. And so if you weigh a whole bunch of them and then you do the division, it gives you a much more accurate measurement of what they weigh. And so 8 of these is 6.8 grams. So divided by 8, that means 0.85. So 0.85, and the other measurement, the measurement that I got previously was 0.863. So let me just put my finger on the scale and then release it just to make sure that it's reliably coming back to 6.8. Okay, so these 8 Smoke Crotch Gray ones are coming up at 6.8. Let me weigh these colored ones here and see what they come up to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unfortunately, I only have 7. So 0.85 is what the gray ones weighed. 7 of these is coming out to 6.3 divided by 7. Jesus Christ. That comes out to 0.9. Awesome. Now let's weigh the new ones and see what different weight they are. What the hell, dude? Here's the new ones. GemFan 2023s. That should be 8 there. It is. So 8 of these new ones come up to 7.3. 7.3 divided by 8 0.9125. So that's a big bag of shit. This scale I have calibrated too, with the scale calibration weights. Why do these all weigh so much different? So let's do this. We're going to put them all on the scale. And then, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is maddening. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, so 26 of these propellers weigh 23 grams. 23 divided by 26 is 0.8846. 1, 5, 3, 8. So the previous weight that I got on them of 0.863 is actually pretty close. I'm gonna change it though. I'm gonna just swap this from 0.863 to 0.885. There we go. That's frustrating. Wowee. Yeah, GemFan 2023. Weird. Whatever, man. I have more of them now. Yeah, the weight being off like that doesn't matter too much. It makes me a little bit worried that my scale is off, though, even though it's extremely repeatable. Like I've always been kind of impressed with how repeatable this scale has been. It's not a fancy scale. I did like 15 minutes of research on like a decent cheap scale before I bought this one when my old one broke. And then I spent practically no money on it. Which is not the best idea, but you know, it's fine. So yeah, GemFan 2023 is a really solid choice, and you can get these within the US from a bunch of different places. I'm pretty sure Pyrodrone has them. But yeah, these are great. I really love these for T-mount applications. So we're talking about propellers for durable setups here tonight. We're not talking about the absolute lightest possible prop. We're talking more about like open prop kind of, you know, pro turtle, baby turtle-ish builds like this. These props are also going to work on heavier setups. But yeah, we're talking like T-mount propellers for the strength that you get from T-mount itself. Secret HQ propeller time. So there are two. There are two 2-inch secret. I love calling these secret. They're not secret at all, but we just can't get them in cheeseburger land. And so, of course, they're secret. T2 by 2.2 by 3 and T2 2 by 2 by 3. These are the ones. So let's start off with the low pitch. So the GemFan 2023s, if you don't know, the way that the numbers on the propellers work is that the first number is the diameter of the propeller. This is a 7-inch propeller. So the diameter is 7 inches here. So the name of this propeller is going to start with a 7 or an 07. The next 2 digits are the pitch. The pitch is just basically the angle that the blade is at. What the pitch actually is how far each blade will travel in like a medium, like liquid, how far it will travel with one rotation. So pitch is in inches. So this particular propeller, this is a 7 by 4.5 by 3. So each one of these blades will travel 4.5 inches if you rotate this propeller one time. So the higher the pitch, the more blade angle, the more draggy the propeller is, the faster the propeller is. Cool? Typically also the stronger the propeller is, because when you put the blade at a steeper angle, the hub of the propeller has to get thicker, and that tends to make the propeller a lot stronger. And so higher pitch propellers are typically a lot stronger. By the way, this is an HQ MQ 7 by 4.5 by 3 propeller. This is a $4 propeller. I only got one because I was like, no, I'm not buying one set of props for $12, but I had to know what is different about a $4 and change propeller. There ain't shit different about it. It looks just like all the other glass nylon props that I've got. So I'm glad I didn't buy the other 3. But this is the propeller that I'm using for every single time that I talk to you guys about propellers. Does it fit on there? Oh man, I wish it fit on that motor shaft. Maybe I'll wallow this out. I just wanted to say wallow, to be completely honest. So that's what the numbers on the propellers mean. Cool. Can you get... There we go. So we're going to start off with the lower pitch 2-inch HQ secret propellers. And again, these are T 2 by 2 by 3. The third number is how many blades the propeller has. So 2 by 2 by 3, it is a tri-blade. Let's get a weight first. I can also now, I've had all these tabs opened here. When I found all these secret props on the HQ website, one of you asked me about a specific HQ prop that I hadn't heard of before. I was like, I don't think that exists. And then we ended up finding our way to the website. And when I got to the website, I saw that there were a whole bunch of other propellers that HQ had on there. Apparently, none of these websites are going to load here. And it took me down this mad rabbit hole. And then when I found this motor at TBS, I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to pay $30 in shipping, I'm going to get something else. And so I just went through their entire website and I hit their propeller section, and holy hell, they had all the... TBS has had a really strong relationship with HQ forever. So it makes sense that they have all the HQ props. I wouldn't be surprised if HQ uses TBS's warehouse as their own warehouse or something like that. This is cool. Great. Way to go, guys. These pages all worked a week ago. Well, I can close these tabs now. I'm excited I can close these tabs. But let's weigh these guys. 2 by 2 by 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I always buy props in bags, in 3 bags, so I have 12 of them. So 12 of these little fuckers are 9.4 grams. And we're going to divide that by 12. And so these guys are a little bit lighter than the gem fans. They're 0.783 of a gram. And so let me add these HQ T 2 by 2 by 3, right? HQ T 2 by 2 by 3. Yes. Cool. And so they are 0.783. Nope, not 9. 3. Jesus. All right, so we got them on there. Here's what I can tell you about these. They are a pretty standard sort of propeller. They're not like ultra pitchy. They don't look like they're ultra strong. These are a pretty normal HQ propeller. The blade profile is like old school HQ. Nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. This is probably a good solid option. When you compare this to the GemFan 2023, they're pretty similar. So here is, well, let me grab one of the pink ones so that you can super easily tell the difference. Pretty kind of standard, but what I will say, the HQ, like kind of their standard blade profile, it's almost like boring in a way. Like it works, don't get me wrong, but it always looks like HQ puts a little bit more time and effort into their propeller, into their blade profile. Does it make an actual difference? I have no clue whatsoever, but yeah, this GemFan prop, this 2023 that I absolutely love, it's, you know, it just looks a little bit, looks like it's a little bit more work's been put in. That means nothing, but, you know, a thought popped into my head and I let it come out my big dumb mouth. So yeah, this also strikes me as maybe one of the older HQ props. I'm surprised that I didn't know about it, but yeah, pretty standard HQ propeller, nothing nutty. The next props that we look at, the reason I'm kind of diving into that is that the next props we look at are very different. So yeah, these are probably pretty good. A little bit less pitch than the GemFan, right? The GemFan is 2023. These are 2x2. GemFan does their numbers a little differently. They just smash them all together. So this is a 2023. This is a 2.0 by 2.3 by 3. GemFan also doesn't bother telling you how many blades it has because they trust that you have eyes. Since this is FPV and you kind of couldn't fly them if you didn't have your vision. So yeah, 2023 is the same thing as 2 by 2.3. Cool. So yeah, GemFan 2023 here, HQ 2 by 2 by 3 here. I will absolutely try these out. I will see if they are better balanced, worse balanced. The balance of the propeller is one of the, if not the most important aspects, and it's the aspect that you'll never find out unless you watch some lunatic on the internet who has to test everything all the time and knows how to tune and knows how to push a tune to the limit, and then that makes figuring out which props are balanced and which ones are not very easy. If you run a balanced propeller and you push your tune to the limit, and then you put on a not balanced propeller, it's going to fly away. And that's exactly what I do, and that's exactly how I see if these things are balanced or not. Up next, the other 2-inch prop. This is the HQT 2 by 2.2. So we're going from 2 by 2 to 2 by 2.2. And as you might already be able to see, these are a lot more pitchy. There's a lot more there's a lot more angle on this blade. But also, the blades are way, 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 way thicker. Almost possibly too thick here. This is a lot, dude. This is a massive amount of surface area for this propeller. And so what that tells me is that these props are going to take a big, beefy motor to push them. This also, this is a lot of blade for just a 0.2 increase in pitch. If I had to guess, I would guess this is like a 2x3 or a 2x4. This looks like a ton of pitch on this propeller. And so the way that I'll test that is to look at the RPM that the motor is willing to do with these propellers on it versus the GemFan 2023s versus the 2x2s. And so if I run this propeller, so similarly, the Avan Blur has a big beefy blade. I think I remember reading that these Avan Blurs are 1.9 pitch, but they're not. There's no way. When you spin these up with a freshly charged battery, the KV, the RPM is, I think it was almost 10,000 RPM less than with the 2023s. It was so much less. And so when you have a big draggy propeller like this, it tends to really work the motors. And so like if you've got a 2-inch rig with big ass motors like 1104s, or like 1303 or a 1204 or something like that, these props are not going to be a problem. If you've got a lighter weight 2-inch build with 1003s or 1103s or like 1002s or 1102s even, or maybe even like a 1202 and a half, this is going to really work that motor hard. And those smaller motors are a smaller heat sink, and so they're going to struggle. So you got to pay attention to that. Like if you ever get a propeller and you look at it and you're like, ooh, if it looks like this, if it's got these big ass blades on it, and you're about to put it on a build, on a lightweight build with little 1103s on it, hold off, because like if you start working these 1103s too hard, they can explode. They won't explode, they'll melt, but it's all the same. Let's weigh these. Also, these are probably going to be fat little shits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of these little chonky bastards. Well, it's not too bad. 10.2. So 10.2 divided by 12 is 0.85. So we've got HQ T2 by 2.2 by 3. 0. 0.85. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked that these are not heavier than that. This is a big, big, big paddle blade on here. This thing is for going through the water. This is a boat propeller, god damn it. I'm actually kind of excited to fly him now. I was a little bit worried at first, but, you know. Here's the other thing, too. Like, you look at these two props and you're like, yo, there's no way that this is only 2.2 pitch and those are 2 pitch. Well, two things. A, I've always been suspicious that, like, how do these prop manufacturers that are a niche within a niche within a niche, right? Like GemFan and HQ, like they only really make FPV props. And so these are small businesses. I've always kind of wondered, like, do they have the actual ability to properly test what the pitch is of these propellers? My assumption is that they've got some fancy 3D program that does this, right? I can almost guarantee you that they don't have a physical setup to do it for real. And so, like, I've always kind of wondered how accurate the software that they're using really is. In the end, it doesn't really matter because you're going to put them on a quad, you're going to fly them, and propellers do fly differently. And so you're going to know if you like them or you don't. And then you're going to crash, and they all crash differently. And then you're going to know a little bit more if you like them or if you don't. Some of them are out of balance, and shit's just going to try to fly away. And you're going to be like, well, I don't like that. And so, like, it's typically, I'm not going to say it's easy to choose between propellers, but it's typically not the hardest thing in the world, I guess. I don't know. But there you go. 2 more 2-inch props to test. I was going to do the edit from the Max M2 where I tested the GemFan 2023. I tested my favorites, basically, the GemFan 2023s versus the Emax Avan Blurs versus the old-ass hulky 2020s. But I held off doing that edit because I knew I would find a way to get my hands on these propellers. I'm mostly excited about these 2x2s. I think these 2.2s are going to be a little bit too much for these little 1003 motors. But yeah, I think these 2x2s might be good. I'm excited to see how these do versus the gem fans. Lately, HQ props have been better balanced than gem fan props, and so I have a funny feeling that these HQ 2x2s will actually let me move the tune up a little bit, and then I'll run the gem fan 2023s, and if the tune is freaking out, I'll know that they're not as well balanced. So yeah, that's coming soon. I'm excited to run these. Now we've got a bunch of 2.5s. Let me clear my throat. So these are T-mount props. So these are going to get tested on the Max Frames M2 rig, which is 1202.5 T-mount motors. All right. That's going to go down tomorrow. I don't think I have crazy family stuff going on tomorrow. So, yeah, that's going to go down tomorrow. Let me check the chat, see what you guys are all up to. Nyafu says the frame itself is pretty different. I love that. I think it's mainly the standoff width and front mount system. Capital C says, I'm really digging the HQ 2.5 by 2.1. We're going to look at those. Well, fuck it. We'll look at those first. 2.5 by 2.1. Now, these are the 3.5s. Those are the 3s. Here they are. 2.5 by 2.1. We'll look at those first. UCanFPV says, have you tried the Robo 1002 23500s? I believe so. Yes. I tried those. Those are, there's some testing numbers on those in one of the other Google Docs spreadsheets that you patrons have access to. The KV on those was exactly the same as, the actual RPM that they turned was the same as all of the 22,000 kV 1002s, which was just not enough. They just didn't make enough power. But yeah, they made the same power as, I forget who makes them, but there's like one or two companies that make a 1002 22,000 kV motor. And yeah, it's just not enough. The Get Bar C 25,000s, like, it's a big difference. It's a big increase in power when you go to those versus the other, the 22,000 kV or 21,000 or 20,000 1002s. So the Geps are the way to go. Hey, Ryan says, fun scent for the Gamma. Oh, shit, dude. Thank you. Let me get my email up so I can give you a proper thank you. Ryan Scott with a $29 even PayPal. He says, for the Gamma. Thank you very much, dude. Whenever we have these funds, if you're interested in whatever this product is, if you send me a couple bucks and you specifically say when you send it, like, for that fund, I'll add it to the fund, and when it fills up, I'll buy it and I'll review it, and then you'll either know if it sucks or if it's good. And so, you know, by sending a couple bucks, it might save you 110. It's not actually that much, but but Google YouTube takes a good chunk of super chats. Thank you, dude. So we go to well played, sir. Well played. Oh, man. And that's where this fund will stop. Because you guys are all fucking children like me. SpizBV says, AutoCAD, Inventor, and SolidWorks are absolutely accurate if the right data is put in. I was trained on Inventor, and we worked on aircraft engine parts. That's kind of what, like, I assume. But, man, sometimes, like, these Avan blur props are the perfect example of that. I swear to God, they say... Here, let's see if we can look it up real quick. Look at this guy. What's he doing? Get out of here. Emacs Avan blur prop. I swear to God, I remember seeing the... Yeah, look. 2 by 1.9. There is not a shot in hell that this is actually a 1.9 pitch propeller. It's just not. It makes tons of power. It's heavy as hell, and the RPM that it pulls is like way lower than props that are even a higher pitch than that. So I don't know, maybe the only possibility that this is actually a 1.9 pitch propeller is that this airfoil shape of these blades is horrendously inefficient, and the fact that it's a heavy propeller is also like really hurting the motors. But like all of the real world performance specs of this, right? Flight, feel, thrust, the RPM that they're able to pull, it says that it's not this low of a pitch, right? And like this happens over and over again in the world of FPV. So like I don't know, I'm always very confused. Everything is confusing. All right, let's check out these. I changed my mind. We're gonna go low pitch to high pitch. We're gonna go 1.9 pitch, then 2.1, then 2.5. And I really wish that these pages would open up so that I can either... Here we go. T2 by 2.2. I can close this tab. I can kind of see by the URLs. T25 by 19. I have those here, right? Yes. Oh my god, it worked. Cool, so now I can close it. Where is it? Is it this tab? Cool, I can close this one. 2.5 by 2. Yeah, T 2.5 by 2. I should have those as well. Really? Okay. There is a prop that you can't get from TBS apparently. It's the T 2.5 by 2. So I'm actually going to leave this tab opened. This is RT 2.5 by 2.1. Amazing. That's these here. Got them. This is the 2.5 by 2.5. Yes, those are here. Excellent. So it looks like it's just this one. It looks like it's just this T 2.5 by 2. I'm okay not having every single one of the propellers. An 18-inch propeller. Good God, man. All right, cool. So I've only got that one HQ tab open. Someday, I'll get my hands on those T 2.5 by 2 by 3s, and then I will, again, have all of the 2.5-inch props. So 2.1, we're going to wait a second. T 2.5 by 1.9. FizzPV says, if I still had Inventor, I could do the simulations, but it's $2,000 a year. Wowee. That is legit. That is a lot of money. T 2.5 by 1.9. This is blurring the lines between a heavy freestyle prop and a lightweight, like, toothpick-ish propeller. Let's see what they weigh. They should be pretty lightweight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are, wow, that's really light. 10.8. The 2-inch props that I just tested were 10.2 for 12. These are only 10.8. That's really impressive. 10.8 divided by 12 equals 0.9, right on the nose. So these are HQ T 2.5 by 1.9 by 3. And they are 0.9 grams. Now we are into 2.5-inch props. I have not weighed a ton of them, but the GemFan 2540s, which are pretty good, are 0.975 grams per propeller. The Emax Scimitar 2.5s, which I absolutely love, are 1.375 grams per propeller. The Emaxes are all of the Emax Avan props other than the 3-inch propellers are very tough and very thick and very durable and very heavy. Their 3-inch prop is the complete opposite. It's really light and really weak and kind of annoying to run. Performs really well, but So there you go. These are significantly lighter than some of the other big bastards. I'm going to leave one of these out, and we're going to take a look at it compared to these other two HQ props, and you're going to be able to see the difference that pitch makes. Again, this reminds me a lot of that first HQ prop that we looked at. This is their very standard blade profile that we've seen a million times from HQ. Some of their brand new propellers over the last couple of years have had a little bit more interesting of a propeller design, a blade design. But, you know, look, an old school blade design, but a propeller that's well balanced and strong, and a pitch that makes sense. Those are way more important than, you know, looking at the blade profile and being like, ooh, that looks aerodynamic. It's probably going to be really efficient. Like, you know, that's we're if it looks fast, it must be fast, right? Next up is the 2.1 RT 2.5 by 2.1 by 3. And I'm just going to assume that there are 12 of them because I'm sick of counting them out. 13.9 grams, substantially heavier. 13.9 divided by 12 is a lot. 1.158. So HQ T 2.5 by 2.1, right? Oh, no, it's RT 2.5 by 2.1 by 3. Sorry, I missed the R. Okay. And then 1.158. Very different, much more significant is what I should say, blade profile to this propeller. Look how much thicker. So you can always tell if you look at the base where the blade meets the hub, and then you see how much it kind of increases in width as the blade gets up there, right? And so we've got this massive increase in pitch and a much bigger sort of paddle here versus this guy, which is, this is going to be much more efficient. This is, like I said, much more like a blend of like a toothpick and a full tilt freestyle prop. This is a freestyle prop right here. I don't care what the R actually stands for. It should stand for freestyle. These props are going to be much stronger, much heavier, and they might be faster if you have enough motor for the propeller. If you do a little toothpick build with lightweight itty-bitty motors and then you try to put a big beefy propeller like this on there, it's going to bog down like crazy. It's just not going to have the grunt to spin this motor up, and you're going to have an over-propped setup, which feels like shit. And so don't do that. This is going to be a propeller that you're going to want to pair with like a 1304 or a 1404, something with some ass to just really mash this fucker around. Sage words of wisdom from your favorite gangly bastard. Last but not least is the TR. They're just fucking with us. Tell me they don't have a T and an RT and a TR. That's just TR 2.5 by 2.5. So we're continuing to go up on pitch. These fat bastards are not that much worse. 14.2. 14.2 divided by 12 is 1.183. So still not as heavy as the Emax scimitars, which is nice. So I got that going for me. TR 2.5 by 2.5 by 3. And then we are 1.183 grams per propeller. So 1.183, 1.158, 0.9. And now this fella, you probably won't be able to tell much of a difference through the... Come on, you little bastards. Stop falling off the desk, for Christ's sakes. No, yeah, you can tell. You can tell. That is another step up in that beefiness. I've left one of all three of these out. I want to try to show you guys pitch. And so, hold on. All right. So 1, 2, and 3. So here's the difference that pitch makes. I'm going to put these all next to each other, and I want you to look at the angle of attack of the blade itself, and then you will totally understand pitch. So there is the 1.9. All right. And then there is the 2.1. And then there's the 2.5. 2.1. 2.5. Oh, you can totally see that, right? See how steep that angle of attack is? I sure wish it would focus. There it goes. Ready? Look how steep that is. And then that is significantly backed off. And now this is a totally different blade profile. So, like, what's interesting is this doesn't really look much less steep than that. But again, the blade profile here is much thinner than that, right? And so this thicker blade is going to travel further, right? This is going to displace more air. And it's going to travel further. So pitch is not just a measurement of the angle of the blade. It is a measurement of how far the blade will travel when you spin it one time, which is really what matters, right? Like if you design a blade that's at a really low angle, but it's a big fat blade and it goes really fast, that's kind of all that matters. It sort of isn't, though. Pitch is pretty fascinating. And I've read a decent amount, but boy, it's one of those things that, like, no matter how much you read, you're still not going to know shit. One of the really fascinating things to me about pitch, the pitch of the propeller, is that with the angle of attack of the blade, the steeper the angle of attack on the blade, the better that propeller is going to perform when you're going fast. You can pump more RPM into a propeller, and it'll keep making more and more thrust. But eventually, a low-pitch bladed propeller at a gazillion RPM gets very inefficient. And you can gain efficiency by dropping the RPM down and having a propeller with more angle of attack on it. The long and short is that if you want to go really fast, you want a pitchy propeller, but there's also that weird intersection of, like, you don't necessarily want a propeller with a really wide blade. You want a propeller with a lot of angle of attack. It has to do with the speed of the incoming air, right? The propeller is chopping through the air, and as the craft goes faster and faster, the incoming air is going faster and faster. So having more blade angle is going to be able to continue to take that fast-moving incoming air and then accelerate it more, versus less angle of attack and more RPM. I have a feeling that also baked into that is the fact that as RPM goes up, you get more friction losses, right? And so a low-pitch prop at a bazillion RPM, you're gonna start to get a bunch of loss from the bearings getting hot and just generally all the moving parts heating up from all of that RPM, right? So, yeah, kind of interesting. For us in the FPV world, more pitchy props are more durable. They're harder on the motors, but you will go faster with them, and it will feel better when you're going fast. That is what I have noticed when I run a really pitchy propeller and I put the nose down and I'm just charging, it feels really good. I have really good throttle control at those faster speeds. Whereas with a low pitch prop, when I hammer it, it just kind of feels like dead. I don't know. It doesn't feel right when I'm going really fast. And so if you want to go fast, you run a high pitch propeller as long as your motor has enough. As long as your motor is enough, right? As long as the motor is a big enough stator with enough grunt. If you can't just take the pitchiest prop and throw it on a little itty bitty motor and expect to go really fast. It's actually going to accomplish the opposite because you're going to overprop that motor. And when you overprop a motor, the motor gets too hot. And when magnets get hot, they lose their magnetism and you start to get major efficiency losses. So you always need to pay attention to that. There is no formula that you can do. You just have to come on by my live stream and ask me, to be honest. It's for every all up weight, there's a motor that's big enough. For every amount of speed that you want to go, there's a motor that's big enough. For every amount of weight that you want to carry, right? There's all these intersections to figuring out the best motor and prop and all up weight and battery voltage and KV and stator size and frame layout, right? And there's just, it's just something that I've tested so much of this stuff over the last 10 years that I have a really good feel for it. And yeah, I wish there was a way of me making like a calculator. Boy, plenty have tried to make spreadsheets and calculators and branching charts for this stuff, but there are just so many variables. And the other big problem is that everything changes all the damn time, right? And so you spend all this time perfect, I've got a beautiful calculator or flow chart for all of the motors and props that exists today, and in 1 year it's worthless because nothing on that list is still sold anymore a year from now. And so it's kind of tough. So these 3 2.5-inch props are going to get tested on this fella initially. This is the Pro Turtle 2.5. This has 1103 motors on it right now. VCI 1103, 11,000 motors. And I can tell you that these low pitch 2.5s are going to be the best on this. These 1103s are a smaller motor for a 2.5-inch prop. And so these guys, at the weight that they're at and the pitch that they're at, these are going to be really good. At the moment, my favorite propellers on this are basically the GemFan version. They are GemFan 2520. And so 25, 2.5 by 2.0, 2.5 by 1.9, right? And so these are going to be the props that perform best on these 1103s. These two are going to be too heavy and too pitchy. I can almost guarantee you. I'm going to do the testing anyway, but that's what the testing is going to show. These props are going to be really good on this guy. This is running a 1504 motor, which is going to have plenty of grunt for these heavier, more pitchy propellers, but these might actually not be pitchy enough. These are 2.1 and 2.5. The propellers that I really like on this setup with motors this big are 2540. These are Azure 2540. Way, way, way pitchy, way fast propeller, which is what I need on these guys to go 40 plus miles an hour to catch these damn athletes riding these crazy bicycles. But we're going to do this testing anyway. Maybe these are really, really, really well balanced. Maybe they perform better than their pitch suggests. I have run into that a bunch of times. Two propellers, one of them claims to be really pitchy, the other one doesn't. They weigh the same, they look similar. With FPV, stuff goes out the window all the damn time, right? And so it's really frustrating, but I don't know. I guess it's allowed me to do this full time, so I can't really complain too loudly about it because it's just impossible. It's impossible to know to go by the spec section. The spec sections on any of these things that we buy are pretty much worthless. Like they make some suggestions, but they might just be flat out lies. It's frustrating as hell, but you know, it gets you ready for the rest of FPV because it never stops being frustrating top to bottom. Nathan Adams says, I was asked to do a lesson on drones for my son's class, 3 to 9 years old. Who made the demo motor you use? Also, any activity ideas, thinking ride-alongs and 3D printed flying toys. Timmons made the demo motor, and it is in, he dropped the file into our 3D printing text channel over on my Discord, which is linked from CiottiFPV.com. Also on the website are a bunch of different ways you can support me. Join my Patreon. That's the best possible thing you can do. There's also an Etsy store with all kinds of fun stuff you can buy that supports me quite a bit. Teespring shop, Fiverr, you can work one-on-one with me, and lots of affiliate links. For the love of God, use someone's affiliate links when you order anything on the internet so that we can keep making stuff that you can watch on YouTube for free. Cool. Any activity ideas? That's tough. Ride-alongs are going to be tough because you're going to have to give the grubby little bastards the goggles one at a time. So I would only really do that with an external screen. If an activity idea is going to be to have them all line up and like do this or fly through their legs or whatever. People, you know, normies tend to love that. You can maybe have them like hold out their hand and you land on their hand, but boy, is it hard to land on people's hands. Yeah, I don't know. A technical high school had me out to talk about it a couple years ago. It wasn't it was a STEM school, and I talked more about like the filmmaking kind of side of it. That's what they asked me to say. It was for a technology and filmmaking class, if I remember correctly. And I just kind of leaned into that part of it and just rambled on for 20 minutes. But yeah, kids that young, they're just gonna ooh and ah at you flying around the room and them being able to see themselves, I think. And then flying through their legs, they're going to lose their minds probably. So yeah, that's tough. 3 to 3. What a ridiculous age range too. 3 to 9 years old is kind of brutal. But yeah, I would keep it absolutely as simple as possible. And maybe talk about like the extremes, right? There are drones that'll go 300 miles an hour. And like pull up some pictures of the rocket ship drone, maybe even put the video on, stuff like that, right? I would focus on like the extreme shit that these things can do, right? So we've got ones that are itty bitty that you can smash into someone, and then we've got ones that go 1 billion miles an hour, and then probably like some lifter shit, right? Show them like a lifter that picks up an ARI on a gimbal, and talk about how, you know, it's picking up something as heavy as 5 gallons of milk or something like that, right? Or even maybe like the agriculture drones that run for hours on gasoline, you know, like that's all I can really think of. Nathan Adams says, with that model, have you ever tried scaling up even bigger? No, Timmons actually printed that for me. That's why it's got the really cool multicolor stuff going on. I don't have a way of doing the multicolor stuff. So yeah, but I guess you could just increase the percentage. I've never done that. I've never done any kind of like scaling in the Bamboo Lab software. It's probably as easy as clicking a button that says scale and then typing a number in. But yeah, Breezy Does It says, if I apply a preset, and want to take it off, do I just unstar it? Sometimes I'm unsure what's applied or not. Sometimes stuff is star for no reason. I don't know what preset is on. There is no way. There is no way to remove a preset. When you go into presets and you hit go, it drops a bunch of stuff into the CLI, and it just makes those changes. There's no way of that presets menu remembering what your settings were before you made those changes. And so your settings before you hit go on that preset are gone. So yeah, if it was a stock setup, reflash, right? And you can get that stock setup back. But yeah, the presets, there's no way to go back because it just has no way of telling what you might have changed before. So yeah, don't use presets. They're use the ELRS 250 or 500 preset. And maybe use the Betaflight 4.5 for clean builds preset, but that's it. Don't use any of the other presets. And maybe don't even use that for clean build preset because the stock filtering is really, really good. And it's really, really safe. Nathan Adams says, you piqued my interest with a prop and motor for any drone to go any speed. What would it take to get a 3-inch over 120? It would take whatever the most pitchy 3-inch propeller is, which is probably the T-Motor 3140, which you can't even get anymore. That is an M5 mount propeller. And then, so you would then get the highest KV motor that would make sense for that. That's going to be the problem, is that none of the motors are a high enough KV. And so realistically, what you would probably have to do is run 6S on a 4S KV motor in order to do that. So it would be like T-Motor 3140 on like I think RC and Power makes a 1506 that's 4,000 plus kV, and then you'd run that on 6S. Yeah, and you could, I wouldn't be surprised if you could get into triple digits, pretty deep into triple digits with a setup like that. 6S on a motor that's meant for 4S. A KV motor, a motor whose KV is meant for 4S, I should say. What else we got going on? Captain Calgary says, looking good, all trimmed up. Thank you, dude. Yeah, I was getting a little too hairy the other day. Breezy Does It says, so if I also flashed Blue Jay through ESC configurator and I end up reflashing to get those presets off, do I need to go back to ESC config to get all the RPM filtering back on? Thank you. No, Blue Jay is totally separate. Betaflight's over here, Blue Jay is over here. If you reinstall Betaflight, it has nothing to do with ESC configurator. They are two totally different things. There is no bleed over between the two. All right. Let's dive into their 3-inch props, which I'm actually really, really excited by, and I should have bought more. I don't know why I didn't buy more of these. Maybe because they're kind of low pitch. These are HQ T3 by 1.6 by 3. Hopefully these perform like they're a higher pitch than this, because 1.6 pitch is not very much for a 3-inch propeller. We don't really have a good pitchy 3-inch prop at the moment. It's kind of annoying. 1, 2, I don't think I bought 12 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is a HQ. Is it a T? It's a T. T3 by 1.6 by 3. And these fellas are 10.8 grams. Wow, they're really light. 10.8 grams. Oh, no, I'm only weighing 8 of them. Divided by 8. 1.35. No, they are pretty lightweight. 1.35. There we go. All right, so that is on the list. Look familiar? Same exact HQ blade design. It's a little thicker here, and then it really does kind of taper down. It's not that like really lightweight blade profile that we sometimes see where there's not much of a bump out here. But again, pretty standard blade profile. If they're very well balanced, and if They have good power. This could be a go-to 3-inch freestyle prop. Some of the other 3-inch options, realistically, for like hard freestyle, are going to be, at the moment, my favorites, I think, are the Gemfan 3052s. They're not actually 52 pitch, but they are really pitchy. Gemfan did this weird thing for a long time where they would name the propeller by how it flies. And so like this 3052, for example, they named it 3052 because it flies like it has a lot of pitch. But when you actually look the propeller up on Gemfan's website, it'll give you the actual pitch. But Gemfan's website is not on the first page of results. Maybe GetFPV has it? No. Wait, no. Was it off on the right side of the screen there? Well, no. It's not. Pretty sure it's not 5 inches of pitch. This is another problem. Watch this, right? So on GetFPV's website, they've got it at 5 inches of pitch, which the name of the propeller is saying that. The name of the propeller is saying, yo, this is a 5.2 inches of pitch propeller. But watch this. So if we go here, we go to multi-rotor, and we go to 3-inch. It's in here somewhere. 3052 Flash PC. Ready? Oh my God! No, it does say 5.2 inches of pitch. I was pretty sure that it was not that pitchy. I'm a little skeptical of that. I don't know. This propeller does. It is fast, but 5.2 inches of pitch is an absolute ton. Hold on. Let me see if this is a redesigned website from Gemfan. This is not the old school website. Let me see if I can find somewhere in here that they're calling out the lower pitch amount. No, it seems to say 5.2 everywhere. I'll be damned. Just so that you don't think I'm an idiot, watch this. So let's go to, what was the classic one was the Gemfan 5143. Gemfan 5143, right? 4.3 inches of pitch. Nope. Gemfan 5143. Where are you at? Oh my God. Oh, here we go. 5143.3. There you go. Right. And so they stopped doing this at some point. And like, here's the funny, on one hand, it's like, why would they do that? That makes it so much more difficult. It doesn't matter anyway, because we've got these Emax Avan props that are saying they're 1.9 pitch, and they're absolutely not. Like, it's all nonsense. It's just all nonsense. And so it really doesn't matter that, like, maybe the way that they were doing it, which is to name the propeller with how it kind of flies and how it feels, maybe that's actually the better way of doing it. Because I flew these 5143s forever, and I back-to-back them against the HQ 50 5.0 by 3.9s, I believe they were. And these Gemfan props flew faster. They flew exactly like a 5143. And so, I don't know, man. It's all nonsense. Luckily, with propellers, you can typically feel the difference. And so spend the $3 or $4, support the prop manufacturer. You're going to blow them up when you smash into the concrete anyway. Buy a whole bunch of different propellers. Test them all. It's also a really good, like, exercise. Like, testing these propellers and flying a bunch of different propellers and spending time trying to feel the difference and thinking about what you might be feeling in the difference, that's a really good thing to do. It really makes you stop just ripping balls for the whole battery, and it makes you just like, hold on a second, like, let me go full throttle and see how quickly it spins up. What RPM is it pulling when I do a full throttle blast with a fresh battery? What does it feel like when I'm really low to the ground? Is it like bouncing up and down, or is it kind of like locked in? How does it handle prop wash? What efficiency am I getting? How much runtime am I getting? How do they crash, right? There's all these things about propellers that mean that there is a perfect propeller for you. And it's very easy to just like, oh, steel flies this prop, it must be the best one, I'm gonna fly it. Like, no! It's the best for that specific person if they've tested 13 other propellers. If they're not sponsored and just being provided with a propeller, right? Like, you are going to have a perfect propeller, and it takes a little bit of time, but boy, is it worth it to figure out what it is. Because when you figure that out, it's going to be durable enough for you, and it's going to eat prop wash good enough for you, and it's going to give you the runtime that you want. And so do that. Go through that exercise. Put that work in, because it makes a difference. And if you spend all of your time finding the perfect propeller versus the perfect motors, the perfect frame, all other shit, you've done it right, because the props have the biggest effect on performance. And so if you're going to go down that rabbit hole and actually like custom build something, even if you buy a bind and fly, right? This is actually the best thing you can do with a bind and fly, is figure out the perfect propeller for it. You're locked in to the motor and the frame and all that jazz. And so spend your time, if you've got a bind and fly, testing a bunch of different propellers, and that's going to make the biggest improvement. You could make the argument that custom building an entire rig is too much, right? It's too much to find the perfect AIO or the perfect ESC and the perfect flight controller and the perfect frame and the perfect up tilt and the perfect motors and the perfect, right? Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of testing. Start with the propellers. Nathan Adams says, with the ride-alongs, I have access to a TV and my HD0 monitor, so I was going to go HDMI from monitor to TV. Perfect. Also says, I love the idea of the human gates, and I've gotten really good at landing on human hands line of sight because my son loves it. Perfect. Brandon's Baked Beans is in the house. What's up, brother? He says, historically, GemFan has been terrible with naming their 5-inch props. They've gotten a lot better now, and they just do 4 numbers instead of 5. Yeah. Right. 51 4. What? Why is that one there? I guess technically it's because it's a tri-blade, but wait. Nope. This isn't a 7-blade. It's you know, it's wild. Breezy Does It didn't tag me, but it looks like an interesting chat comment. Says, so if you're in the higher KV range of S value you're using for battery, less pitch is better. Can one go high KV and high pitch if the motors don't get too hot, or is it pointless? There's not like a there's too many variables there. If you're gonna go high pitch, the reason to go high pitch on a propeller is either you want more durability or you want to go really fast. One of those two things. High pitch propellers are going to be heavier, and so the prop wash is going to be worse. The throttle response is going to be worse. But the propeller itself is going to be more durable, and your top speed is going to be higher, and you're going to have slightly better control when you're close to that top speed. Lower pitch props are more common in freestyle builds because we don't go super fast. We typically go slower so that we can see what's around us and interact with it, right? And so lower pitched props are going to be for better flight performance, better prop wash handling, quicker, better throttle control because it's going to more closely match where you're at on the throttle. Because it can spin the prop up and down faster because it's lighter, right? But you're going to sacrifice a little bit of durability, and you're going to sacrifice a little bit of top speed. So, yeah, it typically you don't want to go with the highest pitch propellers unless you're in a scenario where you're flying little tiny propellers and you need to go really fast. Using a 2.5-inch box frame setup to do what I do is dumb. But when I built these, there was no sub 400 gram rule. It was just sub 250. And so I had to do it. And to keep up with those guys, I had to find the pitchiest goddamn propeller that I could. And so it was a little bit of a band-aid. But on this build, at 40 plus miles an hour, the pitchiest props are the way to go. When coupled with the older motors, I might not even need those motors, those props on these new motors. The old motors were, well, not the old motors, but the motors that are on the two other ones of these are 1404 4600 kV on 4S. These are now 1504. I might be able to get away with slightly less pitchy props, but I won't. I've had a good experience with those Azure props, and so I'll just put those right back on here, and it's fine. But yeah, that's how the pitch works. Don't ask that question that you just asked in chat. Don't ask that anywhere else. Don't ask that on Facebook. Don't ask that on Reddit. The answers that you get will be dumb and wrong and stupid, and will point you in the wrong direction. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I'm actually kind of excited by these 3-inch props because HQ props are usually really well balanced. And so, but the 1.6 pitch on these is pretty low. So I don't know. I might not end up liking these, but I am going to try these on the AOS Cine 3.0 as a part of a big chunk of propeller testing I'm going to do on that thing. This week and next week to figure out which props I like the best. So, yeah, I'm glad I got these, but they're probably not going to be pitchy enough for that thing. But we'll see. I had started a pile of those 3-inch props I was going to test. I think I accidentally put that pile of props away, so I'm just going to drop this on top of the rig itself. And hopefully don't fall on the floor and disappear forever. Last but not least is the HQ T 3.5 by 3.5 by 3. I'm really excited by these. 3.5-inch props. There are not a lot of really pitchy options. This is a pitchy motherfucker. This, if it's durable, could be. So GemFan has a 3630 that I absolutely love. That prop is convertible, either M5 mount or T mount. These are T mount only, which kind of sucks for a propeller this big, but not the end of the world. There are plenty of big motors that are T mount. These are gonna, well, so my beloved X-Nova 1804s, I like the M5 mount version of them, so I can just use prop nuts. And these are those GemFan 3630s. It's so cool that they have the convertible hub design. I would love to try these props on this, but I can't because these are T-mount only. I will try these on the AOS Cine 3.5. They will probably be too pitchy because that's only on a 1604 motor, but we'll see. I'll at least try them. I think I only have 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 5, 6, 7, 8. These are, of course, going to be heavy because these are very pitchy and they're even bigger now. So we are at 17 grams divided by 8 is 2.125. So these are HQ T 3.5 by 3.5 by 3. These props are going to be really good on minimum 1604 motor, I'm going to say. 1604, 1804, 1505 would also probably be really good with these props if they're durable. One of the problems that HQ propellers sometimes have is the joint between the hub and the propeller. And if you look at this prop, that little joint there is very small. And this is a big, heavy prop that's going to be on a big, heavy build. So hopefully they've done enough at this connection point between the blade and the hub. What I usually look for is what I don't like is a sharp angle there. Let me we're done with the scale. Get this out of here. Let me try to show you this. This is something that's kind of important for when you're kind of evaluating propellers, because you can pretty much see how durable the prop is going to be if you know this one trick. And it's basically that you need to sort of roll off the where the propeller meets the hub. And HQ used to not do that. And boy, was it obvious. They're propellers, so these are the old ass HQ 3x3x3s. And these propellers are a good pitch, they're a good weight, they're efficient, they're well balanced, but boy, are they kind of fragile. And what happens every time is that where the hub and the blade meet, it bends at a perfect angle right at that joint, and then it's just gone. It breaks all the way off, or it's impossible to bend back straight. And so if you look, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you guys this, but we're going to at least try. If you look at where the blade meets the hub, if your camera sucks a bag of dicks, raise your hand. If you look at where the blade meets the hub, yeah, no. What I usually do is I just take my fingernail and I bring my fingernail in the blade of the prop, and then I hit the hub. And if you can, like, I don't think that's coming through the mic, but if when you do this, it like stops, that's not necessarily great. What you want is for that joint to be smoothed out. And see, this is kind of stopping and hitting it too. Where are those gem fans? Here are the gem fans. So if we do that with the gem fans, it's better to do it on the bottom, but we'll do it on the top here. Gem fan tends to roll off the material between the prop blade and the hub. That's not showing you anything. Basically, what gem fan tends to do at that point is this, whereas HQ tends to do that more. And so you've got like a sharp edge between that rounded part of the hub and the prop blade, and that sharp edge, it gives it that perfect spot to bend, right? Whereas if you roll that propeller blade off and you smooth that transition out, it is so much stronger. Oh, you know who does the most amazing job is Emax with that. The Emax propellers, I think I'll be able to show you that. So like the joint between the blade and the hub is super rounded out on the Emax Avans. There's still like an angle there, but there, yeah, you can see it. But it is very rounded out, and they really do it on the bottom. Like, look at, like, so on the top, we've definitely got an angle. You can kind of see the light is catching it there, but look at the bottom. It's like completely smoothed out. You see that? Like the blade rolls right into the hub, and that it's just, these are so strong because of that. And so that's one thing that I always kind of look at with a propeller. Of course, you can't see shit on the product images, but whenever I get a propeller, I'll just take like a real kind of close look. And you can usually just do it with like a little loop. And so you get in there and you just kind of, yeah, just look for how much they've kind of rolled that off. And that'll usually tell you if it's going to bend right there. I would love to assume that most of them have learned their lesson and are doing that more. But alas, sometimes they don't. So yeah, there you go. There are the super secret HQ props that are a pain in the ass to get within the US. I was very tempted to order like 50 sets of each, and then my Etsy store would become the only source for these. But I don't know if these are any good. I don't know if these are well balanced. I don't know if they crash well. So I'm gonna have to fly them, and then maybe I will order some more, because it's super annoying if there's like something really good if we can't get it very easily here in the US. We're such spoiled pigs. 3.5, this is going to go, well, this is T-mount, so this is going to go on right back here. I have a pile of 3.5 inch props that I'm going to test on the AOS Cine 3.5 when that thing's done. G Wolfman with a $10 super chat. Thank you, brother. He said HC0 Gamma AIO fun. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We were children for a couple hours with 69 up there, and now we're back to being adults. Wolfman, thank you so much, brother. Denzel the Terrible, I'm going to read the chat from the bottom to the top for no reason. Denzel the Terrible says, speaking of props, non-whoop question. I copied your 5-inch glide build exactly, but only run DJI, no GoPro. Since it's lighter, would you change the 51-43-3 Hurricanes? You certainly could. You don't need all that power without a GoPro. You're 80 grams down. So you could absolutely change to a lower pitch propeller. But I don't know, man. The 51-43-3 Hurricanes they're just awesome. They're such a good all-rounder. They're going to be incredibly durable, and they're going to make a ton of power on that setup. So like fly it. If it's too much power for you, then you can go to a less pitchy prop. Here's the easy button for propellers and pitch. You get a prop, you fly it. You ask yourself realistically, is that too much power or not enough? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be like, not enough power, I need more power. Stop yourself. More power is harder to fly. The more power you have, the less throttle resolution you have. So what you should be doing, in my opinion, is flying the least powerful setup that you can stomach. And so you fly that prop, and I think the question should be, can I fly a propeller with less power? Can I handle less power than this? And then you just get a less pitchy prop. And then you fly that, and you ask yourself the same question. And you bounce back to the other propeller. So you can start to feel that difference. And then you just keep that going. And you get props that are significantly different in pitch from one another. And you don't trust the name of the propeller because it's not always the actual amount of pitch, as we saw. So do that. That should be your kind of approach. Nathan Wells says, how does the head-up tiny prop HQ 3 by 1.8 by 3 stack up? Maybe use on toothpick. 3 by 1.8. Yeah, so that's an old school toothpick propeller. That is going to be... Oh my god, this is only 1.6. Wait, did I wait? I've probably wait. So... here's the other way you can tell how durable a prop is going to be. How heavy is it? And so if I look at my list of weights, this HQ T3 by 1.6 by 3 is 1.35 grams. If I compare that to the old school toothpick-ish HQ T3 by 1.8, that 3 by 1.8 is 1.225 grams. And so it's lighter. It's designed more for a toothpick. This prop tonight, it's just got more to it. There's more blade. It's heavier. And so this is blurring the lines. Like this could work on a toothpick, but this could also work on like a freestyle basher, a 2.5-inch freestyle basher. The pitch is a little bit low on this though. So to offset this 1.6 pitch, you might need to run a higher KV motor, right? And so that's another part of this. if you find a propeller that you really like, but you're not getting enough power from it, you can go to a higher RPM motor or even a bigger stator motor, right? This is where we talk about like all these lines of intersection with this stuff. Or you can make the rig lighter, right? There's all kinds of different ways that you can change the performance of your builds. Never think of it one-dimensionally. Never think like, well, the prop is the only way to do that. No way. Make it lighter. Make it heavier. Higher RPM motors, lower RPM motors, bigger stator motors, smaller right? There's all kinds of different ways that you can adjust the performance of a build. Propellers are certainly the cheapest and easiest way to do that. So yes, spend a lot of time tuning your rigs by which propellers you run. But again, if there's some prop that you absolutely fall in love with, it's infinitely durable. You can change some other stuff to make that propeller work better, work more perfectly for your specific use. Good question. BMF Spade says, have you seen GemFan's new props have a texture on the leading edge of yeah. I forget what they're called, but yeah, they're texturing the top. I'm 99% sure that that's a marketing thing. I do not think that there's any performance advantage there. Also, because it's on the front leading edge of the, or it's not on the front leading edge, it's on the top of the propeller blade, and that's in a low pressure zone, and so not much really happens there. That's why they can get away with that without it causing problems. And so, yeah, I think that's just sort of like a marketing thing. All right, cool. I'm caught up. Uriel says the HD0 is not to deliver on Ali. That's okay. Yeah, the HD0 Gamma is in stock on Pyrodrone. So when this gets filled up, I'll do another little Pyrodrone order, which is good because Pyrodrone has something else that I want. Cool. Let's fly a few batteries. Did you fly your 6 batteries today, you beautiful bastard? You didn't? Well, do it now. Do it with me. We got 10 minutes. You can squeeze 6 batteries into 10 minutes. Let's fly the indestructible rig some more because it's absolutely a hoot. And we want to keep putting batteries through it to make sure that it's actually indestructible. This is going to be the 3rd cycle that I put on these Weebleed 340s. And I think that brings them up to the same number of cycles that I've put on the Lava V2 batteries. So we will be able to do, probably on Whoop Wednesday, a comparison. Lava 280, Lava 320, Weebleed 340. And that excites me because I am the ultimate FPV nerd. Oh, shit. Is that... Joshua's the FPV know-it-all. Should I be the ultimate FPV nerd? Oh. I might be onto something there. Here we go! Womp womp. This is a newbie drone Cockroach 65 V3 frame. Look at that fat dog ass. With Weebleed Screamer 32,500 kV 0702s with the 1.5mm motor shaft. These are GemFan 1219 propellers. 2G4 AIO. Runcam Nano 3 and old school Mobula 6 canopy. Ooh, get in there. Drop it down low. Hey. Try to hit this chair gap. I always have problems with this chair gap. It's the weirdest thing ever. Nope. Tried to power loop it and came up way short. Let's try again. Oh my god, what did I just whiz by? That lamp, I guess. One more time. Oh my god, I didn't plan that, but I'll take it. Oh. Let's go for the newbie drone gap. Nope, 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 nope. Oh my god, what's happening? Oh, I just missed it. Just missed it. Don't fall behind, please. Thank you. Ooh, that was like corked out in a week. I was looking at where I wanted to go, not where I was, and that pillow was in between those two things. Whoa, teddy boy! I'm blind. Oh, look at that stretch! Whoa! We caught the big stretch. Whoa! There he is. Oh my god, that correction though. Straight out of the racer's playbook. Oh god, I just went face first into the wall. That was a weird choice. I was trying to backflip into the dive. Like that. That's what I was trying to do. Yeah! Let's get this goddamn bar cart power loop dialed in. Whoa, doggy. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. I was getting ready for it too early. Oh my god, can you please? Ugh. Alright, let's get this battery off of here. 2 minutes and 50. Flying it pretty good. Flying it pretty hard, I meant to say. Not good. I don't fly good. That's not something that I do. I fly bad so that anybody else that flies bad feels better about themselves. Flat spot towards me. Here we go. FizzPV says, CiottiFPV gives me an idea for that song we talked about, The Ultimate FPV Nerd, a parody of White and Nerdy with samples from the sound pack. Nice. I like that. Here we go. Let me just wait for Tim Gunn to stop playing. I gotta pull the melodies off these things. They're pissing me off already. Okay. Fresh battery is all I needed, apparently. Ooh, that newbie drone gate is rough, and it just carved through there like a... Nope. Carved through there like something that carves through things. Oh! Why is it so easy to do it this way? Because there's a bigger gap here. This is a tight gap here. I can get it, though. I can do anything. Oh! We got it. Let's make sure it wasn't just luck. Fuck you! It was obviously luck because I can't even fly under the goddamn chair to get there. Oh! That's gonna be hard to get out of here. Or not. Oh my god, that was just... Oh, just sneaking it in there at the last second. We got a big hit of prop wash there. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn the dick gains up a little bit for less prop wash. Let's see. Let's see if it'll take it. Seems alright. Nope. Doesn't like it. It's spinning up at 0 throttle. Just a little bit, but I don't like when it does that. When you throw it across the room and you're 0 throttle, it should be completely silent. If it is not, then the tune is a little too close to the edge. And when it does that, it's gonna throw off your trajectory. Okay, I got it now. Fuck you, really? What in the world? Oh, brother. That was a good one. The ultimate combo is going to be this dive. Oh, it's hard, man. Oh, don't get stuck under the door. Thank you. the ultimate warrior combo is going to be this dive. Don't you... Oh! I was close. Oh, I knocked over that. I knocked everything over. Oh, God. Bar cart's getting abused. Everything's knocked over. Come on, give me the ultimate combo. Just once. Oh. It's tough to get it settled down at the bottom of that dive. Let's just do the dive from an awkward side. That'll make it easier. Yeah, I gotta get it settled down. I gotta get pointed in the exact right direction. Let's do one more. I'm gonna do 3. You guys do 6. How's that sound? Fly 6 batteries. It's 11:59. Last battery of the night. One more. We bleed 340. I'm digging these. I feel like they're every bit as good as the Lava V2s. Here we go. Tune's a little upset right now. On a fresh battery, it's freaking out. Oh God! Oh God! Oh! So that's the problem with that dive. It tends to spit you out the bottom. If you dive it properly at 0 throttle, at the bottom you're gonna have to hammer full throttle. And that tends to shoot you out at Mach 11. What you know about that? It is really hard at the bottom of a dive to not go a million miles. Give it to me. Give it to me! Oh! We were so close. Oh, I hit that light hard. On top of the sub? I am. Oh, I let it hang at 0 throttle too long. I got greedy. The greed. The greed got me. Oh. Oh, man, now I'm just missing everything. No, boy, I'm having a hard time all of a sudden. Sometimes this happens. I'll get like a few really good batteries in, and then like my brain just turns to mush. Oh, buddy. So that power loop is all about getting on the throttle a little bit early. A little bit earlier for the catch, so that it doesn't go flying back into this. You go under, you generate a bunch of rearward momentum, and then I gotta get on the throttle early here to slow it down, and then get it back on through. Oh, you jackass. I really want the dive to power loop, though. I can almost taste it. Ah! Give it. Oh, what did I even hit? Give me what I want, world. This is going to be ugly, but if I'll take it if I can pull it off, but I couldn't. No, no, no. Come on. Oh, man, I had it nice and soft at the bottom of the dive, just like my Friday nights. Oh, that was the one. Ah, my elevation bounced up, and I couldn't get it back under control. Man, that is tough. Woo! Oh, man. I was trying to get into the newbie drum gate. There we go. Fly 3 more for me, friends. And have an excellent rest of your Monday night. FizzPV with the nope, we already talked about that. Thanks for hanging. CiottiFPV.com if you like this shit and would like to see it continue. Shout out to my dad for getting a tattoo of my logo. That's the coolest thing ever. And I'm sad, man. My parents are headed home now. I won't see them until December again. But they had an awesome trip. Every winter they leave the frosty Northeast and drive their behemoth RV down to Florida and tour a bunch of RV spots. It's amazing. They know how to live. Let's just say, cool. Be good, friends. I'll see you on Wednesday when we'll probably test these batteries. Here's a little bit more RC drift car chasing for that ass. Be good. Tip your waiters and waitresses.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's fur flies and jet wash dreams, yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Bit fuzz and prop spin all tangled in place, yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stirk tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, they zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah. Ciotti's on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz fuel fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Ciotti behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle mic. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive. Teddy push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy Spaghetti, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends singing loud. Yeah, Teddy Spaghetti and CiottiFPV always